Your philosophy is expressed as your purpose. It's like, why do you exist as a business? You're pushed by your purpose. Well, we're pulled by our vision, and that's our mental vision, the mental capacity to see where do I want to be ultimately, right? And where do I want to be next?
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business, so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
Welcome back to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. I'm Dr. Pete Camiolo.
And I'm Dr. Stephen Franson.
And we are honored to be here with you. Thank you for being a podcast listener. For all of you who are tuning in regularly, thank you so much. And also thank you for the great reviews and testimonials that we have heard. Thanks for those. And if you haven't left us a review or even shared with us how this podcast has impacted you, hey, we'd love to hear that from you. That actually does add value to us, and it inspires us and keeps us motivated, inspired to keep moving forward. And so we would love to hear from you if this has been a value add to you and you as a human being, you and your practice. We'd love to hear how this podcast has done that. We have just begun a series, and this is an episode, part 2, really, of the 8 capacity blocks. In our previous episode, we went through the philosophical block, and today we're going to dig into the mental block. And so again, if this podcast has served you from the mental side, right? So one of the benefits of a podcast like this is actually help you break through some of the areas of mental block or mental fatigue or, mental areas of blindness. We have blind spots, things we can't see, or maybe there's some limiting beliefs and things like that with becoming a CEO of your practice and having a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life and not instead of one. These types of things, right? These are big things. And that's what we hope and pray that this podcast supports you in this way. And so that's why I feel this episode is going to be really valuable to you today. So thank you for tuning in. And also, please feel free to share this with a colleague. Please do that because I know that right now, in the times that we're living in as a chiropractor, in chiropractic today, we need to support and band together as brothers and sisters, as family now more than ever before. We'd love for you to share this podcast with your colleagues. If you're part of a group, drop it in there and say, hey guys, love for you to listen to this. We encourage you to do that. We actually also ask you to do that because the effort that we put into this, we know that many chiropractors will benefit from this. And so please, if you are able and willing, please do that. We'd love for you to do that. Dr. Stephen, so good to be together today and really excited for this series that we're in. And I know this is hitting at the right time of the year for our docs who are listening to this. Whenever you're listening to this is always going to be a timely message. But when it comes to blockage, if there's a mental block, we need to make sure we make the adjustment quickly.
I love this series, Dr. B, because it applies to everyone. So I'm going to start where we started on the last episode, which was, we're throwing out sort of this informal challenge to everybody right now. It's like, let's tackle this right now. These are the crazy 8. These are the 8 leading capacity blocks to your practice, right? To your business, right? So it's not pick which one is your capacity block or maybe 1 or 2. Listen, every one of these has a perimeter that you're hitting, right? So every one of these. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, where is my philosophical capacity block? Where is my mental capacity block? Don't say, do I have one? You have one. We all do. I certainly do. I have all 8 of these, right? Why? Because everything that I have in my business world is finite at this point. There's a perimeter, right? So I want to push against that perimeter. I want to push those fences outward. I want to increase my influence and impact, right? So I'm just running the perimeter right now, looking, where are my philosophical blocks? Where are the limitations on my mental capacity to see and serve more, right? So I want to always ask myself, not do I have a mental block, but where is my mental block, right? So this is a critical thing. So let's look at this. We've got 8 capacity blocks we're going to tackle over the next 8 episodes. Every week, tackle one. Just make this your homework. Like spend 7 days on it. You're going to say, I'm going to look at my philosophy. I'm going to search. I'm going to chase down. I'm going to seek out my philosophical capacity blocks and where are they showing up, where are they manifesting in my business, right? Now it's mental blocks. This week is going to be, all right, where are my mental blocks? Like, where is it? I mean, what a great exercise to pull the Rubik's Cube into it. It's like, what are the mental blocks around my vision story? What are the mental blocks around my leadership? Like, who am I to be leading? How am I going to get to the next level of leadership? I can't even see it, right? Maybe it's mental blocks around your systems. Oh, people won't go for that. Oh, I'd love to do it this way, but people won't go for it. Is that a mental block for you around your systems? Or, you know what, I just kind of wing it as I go. I'm the king of wing. Well, tell you what, the king of wing owns a job. Is that a mental block for you, right? Or is it your team? Oh, people are lazy. Oh, I can't find good people. Oh, I can't find or keep good people. I can't find a great associate doctor. If they're not out there, that's a mental block, right? So, or is it around your training and making training a priority? Oh, my team doesn't want to train. Oh, I don't want to train. Oh, we already know enough, right? So we stopped training because really, is that your mental block, right? So I can't see the benefits of doing that anymore, right? So, or is it an energetic thing where you're just like, man, I just can't see more people. Literally, I can't see myself seeing more people. I can't see myself in my current state seeing more people. I'm exhausted, right? So if you can't see it, Dr. Pete, you can't be it, right? So we all know those cliche expressions, but you know what? That's just truth. It's just like, you just are not going to be able to get to a place that you can't see, right? So this is the vision that pulls us, right? So we started with our philosophy the last time. We said you're pushed by your purpose and you're pulled by your vision, right? So your purpose is a heart issue. This is your why. We're pushed by our why. It's our philosophy. Your philosophy is expressed as your purpose. It's like, why do you exist as a business? You're pushed by your purpose. Well, we're pulled by our vision. And that's our mental vision, the mental capacity to see, where do I want to be ultimately, right? And where do I want to be next, right? You've got to be able to see, I know where I am now. I can see it. I want to see, I've got to be able to see, where do I want to be 3 to 5 years from now? And based on that, where am I going to be 12 months from now? Man, this is the head, as we talk about heart, head, hands, feet. The heart is your why. The head is the what. Like, what does it look like? What does success look like? What is your vision story? And do I have a mental block that's preventing me from getting there?
Yeah. So I guess there's a couple of things I want to jump into here. The first question is, are you looking forward or are you looking back? Which way are you looking right now? Are you looking forward or are you looking back? When you think about the analogy of the vehicle, you can be a person that's really fixated on the side view mirrors, the rear view mirror, even your dashboard. But when it comes to vision, somebody's got to be looking out the front windshield and it's got to say, hey, this is where we're going. And in a business like yours, you might have somebody you hire to look at the dashboard. You may have somebody that you bring in that really looks at the in the rear view and the side view mirrors, but there's got to be someone who's there that actually is looking through the windshield, looking forward and seeing where we're going and driving this thing. I'll tell you right now, if you don't keep your eyes on the road, if you don't keep your eyes moving forward where you're supposed to be going, you don't have that clarity on the vision where you're going, you will veer off the road and you end up in a ditch. One of the things that I have the privilege of doing is supporting this remarkable family is doing the mindset moments. I love doing those every single Monday, and I love doing those webinars every single month. Been doing that for about 3 years, and I will tell you that for me, just really digging into the mindset of what does it mean to be a remarkable practitioner or have a remarkable practice or have a remarkable life, and really thinking through the mindset that's required to keep it is one of the things that I've continuously being reminded of is this: you don't get to take a break from keeping your mindset right. It's a living thing. Like, you have to be sensitive to your mindset at all times. And so my first thing is, are you looking back or are you looking forward? I just want to ask that question, because I know there's a tendency sometimes for us to be caught up looking back. And I have had that happen. I had a moment in my career. It was probably 6-7 years ago now, but I remember I was spending time remembering the good old days, so to speak. I caught myself just like, remember the way that, and it was like, I was running the wheel, the highlight reel. It's like the guy who's like still living in their high school football like days, and they're like, 30 years later or something like that, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with celebrating and remembering the good old days, but it's a problem if it becomes this thing like that's preventing you from actually moving into your destiny. It's a problem if it's stopping you from moving into what you were created to accomplish, your purpose, your ultimate purpose. So first is, have you lost sight of where you're going? Do you know where you want to go ultimately? Are you aware of where you even are now? Do you have an idea of where you want to go next? Are you looking front or are you looking back? That's number one. Number two thing, Dr. Stephen, and where's the interference? Where's the interference coming from right now mentally? Okay. We live in a very, very noisy world. Okay. And I think we all know that. I mean, I'm navigating that with children. We're all navigating that in our own lives. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of information, more information coming at you on a daily basis than probably most people, what is it? A couple hundred years ago, the amount of information that we get in a day is more information than most people got in a lifetime, X number of years ago, however many it was. That's a lot for your mental health to try to process that. Where's the interference? Where's the interference mentally? I know for me, one source of mental interference was and is a limiting mindset and belief about what was possible for me based on maybe what other people had said. That was a mental block. It created a mental block. You can't do this because. Who do you think you are? Why would you even consider doing that? These types of things that maybe have been said to you or you have heard and you have grabbed onto, you've allowed those things to be your mindset. And they've created a belief system. They've created a certain vision that comes with that. And that vision probably looks like a dead end. And that dead end is kind of like a little bit like, I don't want to drive down dead end roads. I'm not a big fan of that because typically you have to turn around and you're like, I don't know what to do next. So I'm saying this to you because I just want to say there are blocks. If you look at your vision, your leadership, the systems, the people, your training, your energy, like Dr. Stephen just went through, it's so powerful to use the framework of the Rubik's Cube here. But I really want you to see and consider, where are you looking? And also, where's the interference? Is it an outside in source of interference or is it an inside out? Because sometimes we can have our own or both. Where is the block coming from? It's important to assess right now. This is probably a best practice, Dr. Steve, for us to do every year. We should every year go back through it because it's not a question of which one. It's where in my philosophy is the block. Powerful way to consider this, guys. And this is a really important discipline for us to do right here at the end of, as we're, this is ending the year, at least when we're releasing this episode. It's like, go back and listen to this every year, this series, and ask yourself these questions. Dr. Stephen, this is so important. I just see the value in this is going to be profound for those that actually really do what you just encourage them to do, is take the couple of days and really think through and process, where is my mental block?
Spinal Hygiene is on a mission to create a greater awareness for lifetime spinal health and wellness in the world. And if you know their founder, Dr. Tabor Smith, you know that he won't stop until taking care of your spine is as common as taking care of your teeth. This system works perfectly with the three-legged stool of results patient education. Get your adjustments in rhythm, break your bad habits, and add your specific exercises to strengthen the spine and hold your adjustments better. Patients love the results that they're seeing. And of course, our doctors love to see happy patients. The public needs to know that in order to preserve the health of the spine and nervous system, as well as prevent degeneration of the spine, they need to do daily spinal hygiene exercises and have a chiropractor on their healthcare team that they see regularly for spine and nervous system checkups. The Spinal Hygiene System helps to build awareness, increase compliance, improve retention, and encourage more referrals into your practice. So, Doc, if you want to educate your patients about lifetime spinal care, increase your customer retention and satisfaction, and add a new stream of income for your practice, then go to spinalhygieneproducts.com to learn more. That's spinalhygieneproducts.com.
One of our core values at The Remarkable Practice is innovation. And that's one reason why we love partnering with Sked, who is dedicated to helping chiropractors connect and communicate better by using innovative technology that's easy to use. Sked allows chiropractors to connect to every patient through their mobile phone like never before, increasing conversion, retention, and reactivations, all with less work. Software can seem complicated to start, so the team at Sked does all the work to get you set up and running as quickly and efficiently as possible. Sked does the hard work for you. To request a demo, go to www.sked.life. That's sked.life. Genesis Chiropractic Software and Billing Network harnesses artificial intelligence and automation to improve collections, patient retention, compliance, and staff efficiency. Being in the cloud for over 16 years allows Genesis to take advantage of artificial intelligence, provides the practice with a more accessible and secure system, allows for more seamless integrations with other technologies, and ensures you will always have access to the latest technology available on the market. Genesis Single Point Management harnesses AI and workflow automation in order to optimize the overall patient experience. For the practices that use Genesis Single Point Management as compared to all other systems, they see an increase in revenue, cash, and insurance of 62%, patient retention 26%, compliance 32%, and 33% more staff efficiency. To schedule a risk-free demo, go to www.genesischiropracticsoftware.com. That's genesischiropracticsoftware.com. With a staggering 91% of patients now expecting digital care from their chiropractors, it's clear that personalized communication is critical for your practice. Digital Care 100 is the premier video engagement platform in chiropractic and offers easy-to-use tools to create short, personable videos and send them directly to your patients. At the heart of digital care is the DC100 Content Library, your own personal archive of conversations just waiting to be had. Content ideas are already brainstormed, trends are already identified, projected, and mapped out. Interesting and engaging content is ready for delivery. With a built-in teleprompter and 100 plus video scripts to choose from, Digital Care 100 is engineered to keep your chiropractic moving forward 365 days of the year, and you're in the driver's seat. Ignite practice growth with Digital Care 100. Visit digitalcare100.com to learn more. And now let's jump right back into our conversation.
This is an incredibly important CEO conversation that we're having right now, because one of your bullets of your job description is vision caster, right? So if you recognize that that's literally your primary role in your business, is to be vision caster. Okay, the vision, this is a mental image, right? So it's a mental image of what does success look like. And based on what success looks like now, next, and ultimately, it's what's important now and what's important next. Like, you're literally directing the business and directing the team. So you've got to be that person that's like, I can close my eyes and I can see what success looks like. I have a mental picture of it. I have a mental picture of what success looks like. I have a mental picture of who I need to become as a leader. I have a mental picture of what the systems need to grow up into. I have a mental picture of what the team is going to need to step into to be able to serve that, right? I have a mental picture of what our training process is like. I have a mental picture of the level of energy that the next level of this business is going to call for, right? So you have to have total clarity on that. The fruit of clarity is acceleration, right? So clarity is your greatest accelerant. That's what that means, right? So the fruit of clarity is acceleration. You know this to be true because if you lack clarity, it slows everything down, right? So we've all been in this wonky place where it's like, oh man, I'm unsure of like where I'm going next because I really don't know what I want to create ultimately. And frankly, I don't even know where I am right now, right? So that wonkiness just slows everything down, right? So clarity creates acceleration. Now, once you have that clarity as a leader, then our job is to cast the vision. Like, we're the vision caster. We're not just the vision creator. We're not the vision host. We're the vision caster, right? Our job is to speak into our team so that they share the same clarity and they can see it, because we need to recruit them to help us manifest that next iteration, right? So they've got to see it, right? So they've got to close their eyes and see it. So then they can turn and they can speak that into the patients, into your community and beyond, right? So this is where the vision gets cast into your people. You can't cast a vision that you don't have yourself, right? So nemo dat. It's a Latin expression they use in law around property law. You can't sell what you don't own. Right. So ultimately, this has got to be an inside out unearthing. You got to say, okay, so what does success look like? Where are we going? And where do I have mental blocks around there? So now you know what to get working on and to reconcile. Dr. Pete, can't overemphasize the importance. It starts with us as the leaders because we are the vision caster.
And Dr. Stephen, I want to talk about, you had shared a story when we were just chatting before about your own experience, maybe in practice with an example of a mental block. And I don't know if you want to share this here. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I thought it was a really good example of mental block. But before you share that story, because I think that's just a very powerful story, is I want to share about, just from a CEO perspective, guys, when you're hearing Dr. Stephen talk about this, the difference between working in your business and on your business is this right here. When you talked about how you have, a vision for your team. I have a vision for my systems. I have a vision for, our marketing. Like, what, what that means? That means I've taken actual time to work on my business. And that's a discipline. So this is a CEO invitation to say, have you taken the time to work on your business? Have you allocated the amount of time that's necessary? Have you blocked the time in your daily, weekly, monthly schedule to work on your business? Because here's what I've seen working with CEOs, and some of you may be listening today, is you've realized that I need more time to work on my business, that my business needs me to work on it, to spend time thinking about it, to really invest my time, energy, and focus into working on it. And this is a working on it. Listening to this podcast may be a part of it, but this is scratching the surface for you. You need to go into a quiet room by yourself, or into a war room with your key people, and you need to work on your business on a consistent basis. And that's what this discipline is right here, is saying, actually do the things that we're laying out here, because this is the next iteration of your business is dependent upon war. Yeah, they always say the war is won in the general's tent. Like, you got to get into the general's tent. That's how we're going to win the war. We do it in there, because if we can plan and prepare, once it comes time to execute, it's a game changer, because we've actually done the time to assess and then to plan and then prepare. This is one of those disciplines is so powerful. Dr. Stephen, I'd love for you to share that story, that you had, just kind of, maybe it was earlier on in practice at some point in your career. I think it's going to strike a chord, because I know it did with many of you who are out there contextually, if you can understand the context and extrapolate that out to your own life. But what are those things that are potentially holding you back?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just one aha moment. It was probably a series of inflection points, but it's all, it's all part of a journey, right? So, because this is a constant and never ending life exercise, right? So to always be checking yourself on this. So I had a wicked mental block on volume, right? So just born and raised as a Gonstead practitioner, right? So, when we came out of school, my wife Camilla and I, we were ready to rock, ready to save the planet. And, what we had been taught, or what we took away from our experience coming out of school, we came out of school and saying, all right, so as a Gonstead practitioner, we're scoping and we're gowning and we are motion palpating and we're static palpating and we're checking posture and gait analysis. And we've always had the X-ray up, and we take our case management analysis, et cetera. Right? So we just had this framework of exactly what it looked like to have an office visit. And it was one person every 15 minutes, right? So it was like, that's what it took to deliver quality care. And that's really not the most important part of what I'm trying to say here, but that was the container that we built, 4 people an hour. And truth is that, it wasn't you just had 15 minutes with me. I had you until the next person showed up, whether that was 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I'd teach you how to draw lines on x-rays. It's like, you were mine, I held you captive until that next person came. And there was a beauty to that, right? There was a beauty to that season for sure. But I remember sitting in a seminar and I heard somebody who's now a friend up on the stage talking about seeing 1,200 people a week. and man, just this curtain of judgment dropped down just immediately. It was just like, boom. It's like, well, you're just not giving quality care, and that must be a mill, and it's rack 'em and crack 'em. And, it's just immediately my brain just went immediate to judgment, and I completely wrote them off. And that was just my mental block of just not understanding, not even to ask the question, like, how do you make that happen? How can you deliver excellent care? I'm eager to see that. And I want to explore that, right? Which is a much better, healthier question to ask versus judgment. Like, oh, you must be terrible. You must not be delivering great care and not caring about your people, whatever. You're just turning them over like a mill, right? So that was the limiting, belief system. And that was the capacity, the mental capacity block. I just couldn't see it. And then as I spent time in these clinics, in these environments, and what I recognized was, man, there's some really awesome chiropractic care going on here. They're delivering excellent work, albeit it was different than the way I was doing things. What it did was it ignited in me the spirit of, I can do better. I can knock the corners off this thing immediately. I am wasting time. I am wasting steps. I am doing too much. I had to figure out that the adjustment starts the process. The adjustment is not the process, right? So I needed to own the fact that I was going to become an efficiency beast, and my systems and my environment was going to be so efficient that it wouldn't interfere with my being effective at high volume, right? So next thing you know, we have a layout that's just awesome for a Gonstead doctor to see high volume. Granted, it was like an obstacle course, and your prize, if you made it through, was you got adjusted. But you know what? We made it happen. I had exactly the right team I needed to make it happen, the exact right physical space, the floor plan, the layout, and the processes, procedures that I needed to see volume and deliver a high quality of care, the same high quality care, and dare I say, even higher quality of care, because I took myself out of the way, right? And I just got present with the patient. I got really good with my hands. And I just recognized, what, ultimately what had changed the most was my mental block. It was my mental capacity. Now that I could see it, I could actually become it, right? And I had to actually put myself in it, immerse it, see it, and remove the mental capacity block that had prevented me from making the biggest impact that I could have made in the community, leveraging other people, systems, and communications.
So immediately I go to, everyone is on a journey, and I believe it's a Robert Frost, poem. It talks about, the road diverges, and I took the road less traveled and made all the difference. And, you were on a moment in your journey where you were probably facing some crossroads, and you were at a particular moment when you decided to consider a different road. And I'll tell you, it's probably made all the difference in your life, was being willing to actually explore that and being willing to go there. We've also probably heard the phrase, I'll believe it when I see it. You've probably heard that. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not saying it's exactly truth, but I'm saying it's something that people say. And I will say this about that. I think there's a tremendous amount of value in actually seeing things to help you gain belief. So one of the values of, for example, being a part of a tribe, like a remarkable family, a remarkable practice tribe, what I love about being a part of this is that you have amazing people, amazing doctors, amazing clinics, and we all come together, and there are things that people are doing. There are things that people are accomplishing that you could actually see and actually would be critical in you gaining the belief that you would need to actually break through mentally. I know for me, surrounding myself and putting myself in environments where I'm always putting myself with somebody who is ahead of me, who has done more than me, who has achieved more, that has broken through some level of a barrier physically, mentally, emotionally, in some area of their life, whether it be in their relationships or their health or their business or their finances or their whatever it might be. Like, you need to put yourself into environments where this actually happens for you. Okay. So one of the purposes, why would we do the Remarkable CEO podcast? I'll tell you why. Because we know that if we can add a little bit of this to our brothers and sisters in the chiropractic profession, because both Dr. Stephen and I feel very convicted about this, because we have not only seen it, but we've experienced it. And we believe that this is a part of what must happen to advance our chiropractic profession forward, so that we can reach more people, so that we can achieve what I truly believe chiropractic is designed to do, which is to actually make a bigger impact in the world and truly become what it's designed to do as far as a healthcare system and model. to serve humanity the way it's designed to be done, is that we would begin as doctors, as chiropractors, to begin to elevate to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of being, and we would break through. So we felt compelled to actually create this podcast for that reason, right? So this actually is a manifestation of a vision, of a mindset that we had, that was, we know that in order to get to where we need to go next, and ultimately as a profession, we have to transform as individuals. Our minds have to be transformed so that our behaviors transform. We're going to get into the hands and feet part, I think, in some of the next episodes, but you got to start with the heart and head, which is what we're doing right here in this series. You got to start here. This is that. So I want to challenge you and encourage you to put yourself in environments where you might go and sit on a stage. You might have to listen to somebody say some stuff that you're going to be like, where the curtains of judgment fall down and you realize, hey, I hold the rope on that. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I actually decide what I'm going to allow and not allow to judge, and what's going to hold me back or not. And putting yourself in environments where you're surrounded by people who are going to challenge your belief. They're going to challenge your vision. They're actually going to make your belief and vision go like this. They're going to give you an opportunity to have an invitation to move to a higher level of thinking, and what's possible is so important for us as a profession. It's so important for you as a CEO to continuously put yourself in an environment where your vision is being poked, where you're being challenged, where you're being invited to another level of thinking and believing. Because some of us, it's a vision issue. Like, I just don't see it. Some of it's like, I see it, but I don't believe it. So if the believe it is the issue for you, I really encourage you to experience it. That's how you change it. Why is Disney so powerful? Because they create an experience for people. Why is Dr. Stephen going to a practice, or me going to an office, and I inserted myself in an office that was high volume, and I spent months working there so that I could experience it, so that then I could go and create it. And I didn't have any lack of belief of what could be done because I'd already seen it and experienced it. So I encourage you also to put yourself in environments where you are seeing things, you're experiencing things, so that you can not only catch the vision, but you actually get the belief. The belief begins to get rooted. And then from that place of not only seeing it, but believing it, you know what I have? I have conviction. So now when I share my vision, and you remember, visions are caught, not taught. So when I share my vision with my team, they actually catch it, not only because I see it, but because I believe it. And the belief part goes back to the heart of it, where now it's not only here, it's dropped into here. And so when I share my vision, when I cast my vision, not only did you hear me, but you heard me. And you begin to get it. And now it's like, oh, I'm starting to catch it. I think I finally am getting, when people say, you know what, doc, I've heard you say this to me over and over and over table side, and I think I'm finally getting it. You know, when patients say that to you, you have to repeat things over and over. You got to put yourself in environments where you're going to be in that space where finally it made it those 12 inches right down. So here can be the block. Here can be the block. These two go hand in hand. Dr. Stephen, this is just such a powerful part, because so many of our CEOs, to go from being the remarkable business owner and owner operator to being a remarkable CEO, that transformation, and then from that to whatever is next, this is such a mental thing to be able to walk through this transformation. It's so mental here. And so I just think it's so important that we've taken time, even here today, just to press on this, press pause here and say, where is the mental block right now for you as the CEO, for your practice right now? Where is that mental block, Dr. Stephen?
Yeah, I love the expression that visions are caught, not taught. And it's been my experience that there's nothing more contagious than the vision of chiropractic. What the world needs now is chiropractic. There's no question about it, right? So that is more clear now than ever. The question is where is that being blocked in your practice? Where is that not getting through? Does the block just start with you? Is there a mental block with you that you need to surmount? We need to reconcile that so that you can convey that to your team. So is the mental block with your team? It's like, no, I'm good with me, and it's my team. I really either haven't tried to, or it's been too long since, or maybe I've tolerated, I don't have A players. there's not interest there. It's like there's a misalignment here between their core values, and they don't buy into our vision story. It's like where is the mental block? Let's go hunt that down. Let's go find it, right? And let's get to work. Let's make this actionable. So there's your homework assignment, guys. As you know, we're on this virtual challenge with you over the next, let's call it 8 weeks. We got the crazy 8. It's gonna be 8 episodes. Each one of these is a container. Each one of these, your practice is being limited on some level. Even if you're having extraordinary success, there is a limit to it right now. Let's go find it. Let's go find that perimeter. Let's go kick that wall down. Let's go push off against that fence and expand your reach and impact. And ultimately, any one of these could change your business, change your practice. Can you imagine? I so look forward to hearing the success stories when we address all 8 of them.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Now go and be remarkable.